You don't have quality of life because you're in so much pain, and when you're in pain, you really can't do things, and it's hard on the family members to watch somebody go through all of that and be in so much pain.
The definition of addiction is an abnormal behavior pattern associated with the use of a substance. When narcotics are used for the treatment of pain, the incidence of addiction is almost zero.
Whatever decisions I'm making for her, or whatever words that come out of my mouth, they're really not mine, but they're my mother's.
Everyone has to be prepared. You can't assume that you'll never be in this situation or it's not going to hit you till you're 65. You know, it can happen to anybody at any time.
It has been a little hard at times, seeing Rach not feeling well. She's so vibrant, so full of life, and so full of energy.
Sometimes I get my labs back, or I'll decline in health significantly. I guess I always think about it first, or we're thinking about it simultaneously. Gosh, you know, what if this is it?
She's been on a long journey with her health, and I love her so much. I've just tried to be supportive through every step of that journey.
What if I die? You know, how would he be? Could he go on? How do I want to die? What are we going to do? How are we going to prepare for this?
So, you know, we do things to make the discussions easier.
And usually we wait till the nighttime. So there's something about the nighttime where everything quiets down. There's not the busyness of the day.
I try to cook up a nice meal for Rach, something that she'll enjoy.
You know, he puts music on, he cooks me a dinner. I relax, I meditate, play with the dog.
And we just, we like to cuddle too.
And usually it's when we go to bed. We just lie there in the dark, and that's when we're able to talk.
One of the reasons that she wanted to talk about her illness and what we've been through is to help me to see if I'll be okay when she makes her transition, whenever that time comes.
We're in this together. You know, we've had talks about if I were to die, could he let go? Would he make sure to go on?
I've thought about it a lot. We've talked about it some. It'll be hard. I don't really know what I'm going to do.
It gets easier. It gets easier every time you talk about it. And every time you talk about how you want to die and how you want to live, a little more opens up. So the first time's the hardest.
At the beginning, you know, we always say it's old age, you know, it will pass. But one day she couldn't find her way home, and her neighbors told me that. So that's when we rallied around her and decided we can't leave her alone anymore. When she became incapacitated, she wanted for me to care for her. She did not want to go from one child to another. Within a week's time, she went to the lawyer. She had a living will and made a living trust, and I became her power of attorney. My mother is not educated. You know, she has just a 4th or 5th grade education, and yet to be able to do this, I think she did this not only for herself, but for all of us. And I just think this is such a gift she gave us, and I think it's a gift that I need to give, you know, my survivors too. This is why it was so easy for me. You know, there is no guilt. I've heard other families where they have such difficulty, you know, at this stage in their parents' life, but I have none of that, because I feel whatever decisions I'm making for her, or whatever words that come out of my mouth, they're really not mine, but they're my mother's, and I'm just a spokesperson. There is to be no resuscitation, no tube feeding, and that's very specifically stated in her directive. I know dying is such a unpleasant, you know, discussion to have, but if we can see it as a gift, that I think we would release so much anxiety, so much guilt, so much turmoil in families if we could have this document here and say, these are my wishes, because we just don't know whether we are capable of making those decisions ourselves later. And we need to have it done now while we're still mentally, capable.
George's prostate cancer went into the bone, and that in itself is very painful. His quality of life just, went downhill because all he could think about was his pain.
Pain has several effects on the body. It has a physiological effect, and it also has psychological effects. Psychologically, it wears people down. It hurts all the time. It tends to make people want to not live anymore because pain is painful.
He was so uncomfortable, it was hard for him to do things. It was hard to go out with him because he was so uncomfortable. He was in so much pain. Or when he would take enough pain medication, he was zonked. So when George came up to hospice and they said something about calling Dr. Wong in for pain management, I had no hesitation.
What we're looking for is that they have a better quality of life, and 98% of the time we can get them to have good to excellent pain relief, either through medications, injections, or implantable devices.
It just made all the difference in the world for him. He slept well, he ate well, he looked good, he was able to go out. We went to movies. I mean, we'd pick him up here and take him out. I mean, he did a lot. He was able to concentrate on other things besides George and George's pain.
In general, here in Hawaii, the patients may not know that there is another option to go beyond their primary care physician, and even the primary care physician themselves may not know that there are other options available. They may not be asking because they think that it's disrespectful. They may be asking a stupid question or something like that, but they need to ask and get their answers to the questions so that they can get proper treatment.
I know how hard it is. I encourage my parents every day to do their advance directive, and it still hasn't happened. But I figure if I keep bugging them, it'll happen one of these days.
I would tell anybody that has, whether it be for themselves or for somebody that they love and care about, pain management is not something to be afraid of. It's only going to help the quality of your life. And the longer you put it off, the worse your quality of life is going to be.
We need to remember that the patient is the one who comes first. This not only occurs with pain management, but also with all end-of-life issues. And discussing these beforehand will save a lot of confusion in the future.
She would say, good girl. She would say, thank you. She really would thank me. And she would also tell me, I'm sorry I created so much problems for you, but thank you. I know this. Yeah.